Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update from NFL News Now. It's been a wild start to the 2025 NFL season for the Philadelphia Eagles. The headlines have been full of everything from locker room drama to debates about play calling, leadership, and the team's true identity. But when you strip all that noise away, when you block out the talk shows and the Twitter takes, you're left with a simple truth. The Eagles are 4-1, and they look like a team that knows exactly how to win football games. They're not perfect, but they're powerful, deep, and balanced. And beneath the buzz and the chaos, there's a quiet, steady force building in that defensive line, a force named Jordan Davis. Now, if you've been following the Eagles for a while, you know that General Manager Howie Roseman doesn't play when it comes to roster construction. He's always a few steps ahead of the curve, always thinking about contracts, cap flexibility, and long-term stability. That's why the Eagles are never caught flat-footed when a star demands a raise or a key player hits free agency. Roseman has built a reputation as one of the most proactive and shrewd GMs in the entire league, and that's exactly why the idea of Jordan Davis getting an extension mid-season suddenly doesn't sound so crazy. It sounds like a move that fits perfectly into the Eagles' DNA. Jordan Davis, the massive defensive tackle out of Georgia, came into the NFL with sky-high expectations when Philly selected him in the first round of the 2022 draft. He was supposed to be the next great interior disruptor, a mountain of a man who could collapse pockets and stuff the run like nobody else. But his early years were all about development. He flashed potential, sure, but he wasn't yet the dominant force fans envisioned. That's what makes this season so exciting. In 2025, Davis isn't just showing flashes. He's showing consistency, leadership, and that intangible it factor that makes defenses fear him before the ball is even snapped. According to ESPN insider Dan Graziano, Davis is one of the league's top candidates for a mid-season extension, and when you break it down, it makes all the sense in the world. Graziano recently wrote that Philadelphia, a team known for locking up key players early, might decide to extend Davis sooner rather than later. The Eagles already exercised his fifth-year option, meaning he's technically under contract through 2026, but Roseman might want to get ahead of the market. Because let's be real, the price of elite defensive linemen isn't going down anytime soon. With young stars like Jalen Carter also approaching extension eligibility, and rising talents like Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean not far behind, the Eagles are staring down a future full of tough financial decisions. Getting Jordan Davis secured now could be a way of setting the tone and the structure for those coming deals. And let's not forget what Davis has done this season. The numbers don't lie. 19 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, 3 batted passes, and even that spectacular blocked field goal that he scooped up and returned for a touchdown. That's not just production, that's impact. Those are game-changing plays that swing momentum and light up an entire sideline. When Davis is on the field, the Eagles' defense feels different. The run lanes close, the pocket shrinks, and quarterbacks have to think twice about stepping up. His presence allows everyone around him to play freer, from the edge rushers who benefit from his interior dominance to the linebackers who can trust that the gaps will be sealed. What's most impressive about Jordan Davis this season isn't just the stat sheet. It's the way he's commanding attention. You can see it on the tape. Offensive lines are sliding protection his way. Centers are pointing him out before every snap, and coordinators are scheming to neutralize him. That's the sign of a player who's crossed the line from promising young guy to legit problem. And in Philly, that's saying something. Because on a defensive line stacked with talent, Fletcher Cox mentoring from the sidelines, Jalen Carter ascending into stardom, and a rotation that's as deep as any in the NFL, Jordan Davis is still managing to stand out. The Eagles' culture has always been built on the trenches. Offense, defense, doesn't matter. They believe games are won and lost at the line of scrimmage. And Davis embodies that philosophy better than almost anyone on the roster right now. He's a tone setter. When he fires off the ball, the rest of the defense feeds off that energy. You can hear the sideline erupt when he makes a play. You can feel the crowd at Lincoln Financial Field rumble when he stuffs a 3rd and 1 or swats down a pass. That's the kind of impact that goes beyond statistics. It's leadership through presence. And that's exactly why Howie Roseman might be thinking, let's get this done now. The Eagles aren't in a rush because they have Davis locked up for at least another year and a half, but Roseman has never waited until the last minute to reward homegrown talent. Just look at the track record. Guys like Dallas Goedert, Devonta Smith, and Josh Sweat all got extensions before hitting their final contract year. Roseman understands that early extensions don't just secure talent. They send a message. They tell the locker room, if you perform, if you buy into our system, we'll take care of you. That kind of culture sustains success. From Davis's perspective, an early extension would also make sense. Sure, he could bet on himself, play out the year, and try to drive up his market value. But in the NFL, nothing is guaranteed. Injuries happen, momentum shifts. And for a player who's finally found his rhythm, locking in long-term stability with a franchise that clearly values him might be the smart move. Plus, playing in Philly means something. The fans here aren't just spectators. They're part of the heartbeat of the team. If you win in Philadelphia, if you play hard and embrace that blue-collar, never-back-down mentality, you'll be a legend forever. It's also worth mentioning that Davis's growth hasn't been just physical, it's been mental. Coaches and teammates have spoken about how he's matured, how his understanding of the game has deepened, and how his preparation has taken a leap forward. He's studying offensive tendencies, recognizing blocking schemes faster, and using his hands with more precision. That's the evolution of a player turning into a professional force. And it's exactly what the Eagles hoped for when they drafted him out of Georgia's powerhouse defense a few years ago. When you watch Davis play now, it's clear he's not just reacting, he's dictating. He's controlling the line of scrimmage, forcing offenses to adjust. That's the kind of control that makes defensive coordinators drool. And with Sean Desai, or whoever's calling the defensive plays this year, finding creative ways to utilize his size and athleticism, Davis is becoming more versatile. He's not just a run stuffer anymore. He's collapsing pockets, affecting passing lanes, and disrupting timing. That makes him invaluable in today's NFL, where even interior linemen are expected to rush the passer effectively. The broader picture for Philly is also fascinating. They're sitting at 4-1 despite all the external chatter, and the defense, led by Davis and company, has been a big reason why. The offense might still be finding its full rhythm, but the defense has consistently delivered stops, takeaways, and clutch moments. And within that unit, Davis's emergence is one of the most encouraging storylines of the year. For a franchise that's always built from the inside out, seeing one of its young cornerstones flourish is a sign that the long-term vision is working. If you ask fans around the league who the most important defensive player in Philly is, you'll get a variety of answers. Maybe Jalen Carter, maybe Haason Reddick if he's still around, maybe one of the new young corners. But inside the building, they know how vital Jordan Davis has become. He's the glue guy, the one who keeps the line balanced, the silent enforcer who makes everyone's job easier. And that's why the idea of an in-season extension isn't just speculation, it's strategy. So what would a potential deal look like? You can imagine something similar to what top-tier defensive tackles have signed in recent years, maybe in the range of $18 to $22 million per year, depending on structure and incentives. That's big money, but it's market value for a player who's proven he can anchor a championship-caliber defense. And if the Eagles get it done early, they might even save a few million down the line, especially if Davis keeps trending upward and the defensive tackle market continues to explode. At the end of the day, this is classic Eagles football. Identify your core, reward them early, and build continuity. It's how you keep competing year after year, no matter how much the NFL landscape changes. Jordan Davis has earned his spot in that core. He's earned the trust of his coaches, the respect of his teammates, and the love of a fan base that recognizes effort as much as results. When you watch him line up, dig in, and bulldoze through a double team, you're seeing the future of the Eagles' defense right in front of you. So while the media keeps spinning stories about sideline arguments, offensive inconsistencies, or whether the Eagles are true Super Bowl contenders, Howie Roseman and his front office are quietly working behind the scenes. They know what matters. They know that success in the NFL isn't built on headlines. It's built on the players who do the dirty work every single down. And right now, Jordan Davis is doing that work at an elite level. In a few weeks or months, don't be surprised if the alert pops up. Eagles, Jordan Davis agreed to multi-year extension. It won't just be another transaction. It'll be a statement, a reminder that the Eagles aren't just chasing wins today. They're building something sustainable, something powerful, something that lasts. And Jordan Davis, the quiet giant in the middle of it all, might just be the foundation holding it together. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. Lockdown. That's the word buzzing around Philadelphia. And it isn't about some new COVID restriction or a citywide alert. It's about the Eagles and their latest defensive masterpiece. The rumor mill has been spinning for weeks, but now, it seems, the whispers are becoming reality. The Eagles have officially signed cornerback Asante Samuel Jr., and the city is buzzing with excitement over what this move could mean for the secondary. For a team that has always prided itself on its defensive prowess, this is more than just a signing. It's a statement. The Eagles are telling the league, loud and clear, that their secondary is no longer a question mark, that opposing quarterbacks better start rehearsing their exits because the skies over Philly are about to get stormy. Asante Samuel Jr., the young cornerback known for his instincts, speed, and uncanny ability to read quarterbacks like open books, is now officially donning midnight green. And the chatter among fans, analysts, and even casual NFL observers is electric. Could this be the piece that turns a good defense into a historically great one? Could the Eagles' secondary go from solid to downright impenetrable? Everyone seems to be asking the same question, and the excitement is palpable. Now let's unpack why this is such a big deal. Samuel Jr. isn't just any cornerback. He's a disruptor, a player who has a knack for being in the right place at the right time, snatching interceptions, and breaking up passes when the pressure is highest. For a secondary that has seen its fair share of highs and lows, adding Samuel Jr. is akin to installing a defensive ace in the heart of the city. Philly fans, who are notoriously passionate and never shy about making their voices heard, are already imagining the highlight reels. Samuel Jr. stepping in front of a pass, stripping the ball from a wideout, or making a textbook tackle in the open field. The mental imagery alone has sparked debates across social media, sports bars, and even casual conversations on the streets of Philadelphia. The Eagles' front office is clearly betting that Samuel Jr. brings more than just individual talent. They're betting on chemistry, on the synergy that can emerge when a talented secondary learns to operate as a single, cohesive unit. And if the early whispers are any indication, the locker room is buzzing with optimism. Teammates are reportedly excited to welcome him, and the coaches are said to be already sketching up plays that maximize his unique skill set. Imagine the pressure this puts on quarterbacks when they know that no matter where they throw, Samuel Jr. is lurking, ready to make a play. The rumors of rival teams scrambling to adjust their game plans are, if anything, understated. Of course, the timing of this signing adds another layer to the intrigue. The NFL offseason is always a hotbed of speculation, trades, and whispers, but moves like this tend to shift the entire narrative. For weeks, analysts have debated the Eagles' defensive priorities, questioned whether they were focusing on the right areas, and speculated whether the secondary needed a shake-up. Enter Asante Samuel Jr., and suddenly, those questions start to fade. The chatter in sports circles has moved from speculation to anticipation. Everyone is asking, how will the Eagles deploy him? Will he lock down the outside corner and force quarterbacks to go inside? Will he be the ball hawk in nickel and dime packages, disrupting timing and creating turnovers at critical moments? The buzz is infectious, and as often happens with high-profile acquisitions, the media can't get enough. Analysts are breaking down film, highlighting Samuel Jr.'s strengths and weaknesses, projecting scenarios, and predicting how this addition could reshape the Eagles' defensive identity. Fans are already speculating on which upcoming games will showcase him most, which rival quarterbacks will first face the wrath of his instincts, and how many highlight reel moments he will deliver in the coming season. The sense of anticipation is electric, almost tangible, and it's sweeping across Philadelphia like a late summer storm. It's also impossible to ignore the ripple effect this signing could have on team morale and the culture within the locker room. Leadership in football isn't just about shouting orders or organizing drills. It's about presence, confidence, and influence. And Samuel Jr., despite his relative youth, brings a presence that commands attention. Rumors suggest that he has a reputation not just for his athleticism, but for his competitive spirit and work ethic. That kind of energy is contagious. Imagine a locker room where younger players feed off that intensity, where veterans find renewed focus, and where the team as a whole begins to elevate itself simply because one player refuses to settle for anything less than excellence. It's the kind of intangible benefit that doesn't show up in the stat sheets immediately, but often defines championship-level teams. Philly fans are dreaming of it. A secondary that can suffocate offenses, force turnovers, and create momentum-shifting plays at exactly the right moments. And in the rumor-fueled world of sports journalism, whispers about the locker room dynamic are sometimes as compelling as the actual on-field performance. The narrative is already being written before Samuel Jr. even takes the field, and it's one of excitement, promise, and potential dominance. From a strategic standpoint, the Eagles' front office appears to be sending a message to the entire league. The secondary is no longer negotiable, no longer the weak link that teams can exploit. With Samuel Jr. added to a talented core of defensive backs, the Eagles now have options. Press coverage, zone schemes, man-to-man matchups. The playbook suddenly becomes more versatile, more threatening. Rumors in coaching circles suggest that defensive coordinators are already scheming around his presence, thinking through creative ways to use his instincts, speed, and ability to read the quarterback's eyes. The mere presence of a lockdown corner like Samuel Jr. changes how offenses operate. Quarterbacks hesitate, wide receivers second-guess their routes, and play calling becomes more conservative. It's a subtle but significant shift, and it all traces back to this single acquisition. Philly insiders are practically buzzing with excitement over the potential domino effect. One elite corner can elevate the entire defensive unit, create turnovers, and give the offense extra opportunities to shine. That's the kind of synergy that fuels winning teams. And if the early whispers hold any weight, the Eagles may be on the cusp of something special. And let's not forget the fan reaction. Philadelphia has some of the most passionate, vocal, and knowledgeable NFL supporters in the league. They thrive on rumors, debates, and speculating about potential outcomes. The news of Samuel Jr.'s signing has ignited countless online discussions, social media threads, and sports talk radio segments. Predictions are flying, from how many interceptions he will notch in the season to which divisional rival will first feel his impact. Local bars are reportedly hosting Eagles-themed gatherings to celebrate the signing, and merchandise sales are rumored to be spiking as fans rush to get jerseys emblazoned with Samuel Jr.'s name. The buzz isn't just about one player. It's about hope, about the possibility that this could be the move that finally pushes the Eagles into true defensive dominance. And in a city where football is almost a religion, that excitement translates into energy that permeates the streets, the stadium, and the hearts of fans everywhere. Rumors continue to swirl about how the secondary will gel, how the coaching staff will implement his skill set, and how rival teams might scramble to adjust. The narrative is alive, evolving, and impossible to ignore. Asante Samuel Jr. signing with the Eagles is more than just a transaction. It's a potential turning point. The buzz around Philly is undeniable, the speculation is relentless, and the anticipation is mounting. Analysts, fans, and insiders alike are crafting scenarios, projecting outcomes, and imagining what a Samuel Jr. anchored secondary could do in critical moments. Whether it's shutting down star receivers, forcing turnovers in high-stakes situations, or simply giving the Eagles a psychological edge over every opponent, the possibilities are tantalizing. The city is holding its collective breath, the rumor mill is in overdrive, and the narrative is still unfolding. One thing is certain. The Eagles are signaling their intentions, and Asante Samuel Jr. is the centerpiece of that message. For the secondary, for the fans, and for the league, the sky over Philadelphia is about to get a lot darker for opposing quarterbacks. Lockdown indeed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates, only here on NFL News Now.